Yo, what's up fan base? It's your boy Blaze Hollow coming at you again with another teaser trailer. This time I'll be bringing you What If Deku Had Explosion release. This is me trying one more time at the villain storyline because the other one didn't seem to win the poll. But I feel like I'm stalling, so let's just get into the video and let it speak for itself. Roll that intro.
I honestly don't think you can become a hero.
Usually, people will question the definition of art, some saying that it's in the mind's eye, others will tell you that it's about popularity, and some could say that art is a following trend, but some will truly tell you that it is. Explosions start to go off in the city, causing people around to scramble, heroes frantically trying to figure out what's going on as buildings were collapsing everywhere around them. Looking like chaos, no one could figure out what was causing these explosions, they were just happening out of nowhere. A mysterious figure was just laughing as he was watching the entire spectacle. Art, in my opinion, is truly an explosion. Another figure in the darkness of the room that both people were sitting in was clapping his hands as he was wearing a business suit seeming to be strapped to medical equipment to keep him alive. I have to say, your art is getting better and better each time I see it, Izuku. Izuku sat back in his chair as he was watching the news as he looked back at the old man. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy my art show. You are my greatest benefactor after all for one. All for one put a hand to his chin trying to figure out how Izuku got those explosives in all the right places that he needed. Care to share on how you got those mini explosives in the proper place for your destructive display? Izuku held out his hand as a little clay ant started to appear, seeming to be able to move all around by itself. I used these little guys as chain bombs, something that people wouldn't really look at, and was able to get into the proper places with no hassle. All for one was impressed by the simplicity of the attack, but then when he looked back up at the TV, seeing something that he didn't like on the news. Unfortunately, it looks like your art gallery is about to be interrupted. Izuku turned towards the TV only for a scowl to go on his face as he saw All Might saving the day, getting people out of destructive areas and helping put the buildings back together. But more importantly, making everybody forget about his amazing art as Izuku went over to a table and just slammed his hand down on it as it started to blow up. Damn you, All Might. That entire spectacle was supposed to be something that no one was ever going to forget, but because of you, no one's going to remember it now. The TV started to play throughout the room as the news reporter decided to stop All Might, seeing how they felt about the culprit who caused this entire situation and bombing. I do not know who could have caused this, but I do swear that this insane act will not go unpunished. The reporter nodded as he held up his microphone for another question. Do you have any suspects regarding this entire incident? All Might had a grim look on his face. I might have one suspect, but until I'm sure, I'm not going to be giving out any information. It is not right to slander someone without any evidence. Before any more questions could be asked, All Might leaped up into the air, hopping from building to building until he was a good distance away from all the reporters. He stood on top of one of the buildings, noticing all the destruction, when he noticed something seemed to be carved into one of the buildings out of the explosion as it said, "Do you like my art, All Might?" All Might just clenched his fist, knowing that this was all his fault. If only I had said the right thing that day. Why did I have to jump the gun? Sensei, what would you have done in my place? A man dressed in a black onesie with a gray scarf leaped up onto the roof. I hope you realize the consequences of your actions, All Might. The boy's been missing ever since that day, and now look at what he's starting to do. All Might just looked over at Eraserhead. I know, you don't have to continue to rub it in every time we see each other. Eraserhead shook his head as he put in some eye drop. I think I do need to rub it in. You're finally seeing part of the clashback of your fame. People believe in what you do, and the moment that you choose a certain faction, mob mentality takes over, and you technically ruin that child's life. Could you imagine if he was actually put on our side, how many things we could have gotten accomplished, how many people could have been saved, and how many villains could have been put behind bars? But now, because of that incident, all of that is down the drain. Everybody is in fear of the Mad Bomber. All Might clenched his fist as he was actually starting to get enraged as he looked over at Eraserhead, ready to shout at him. I know already. What do you expect me to do or say. It's already too late. We can only hope that we come across him and put him behind bars as soon as possible. Racer had put back on his goggles, getting ready to leap off of the building. The real question is, do you think any prison can actually hold him, and does he truly deserve to be behind bars? These will be the decisions between morals and actions, because someone decided to take that boy's shattered dream and manipulate it into something corrupted. I still believe that he can be saved. Do you? Racer had leaped off of the building, using his capture scarf to grab onto one of the light posts and swings carefully down to one of the lower buildings as he ran across the rooftops. I just stood there looking towards the heavens, not knowing what to do, as we cut over to the mysterious room with Izuku and All For One still standing in it. All For One was still watching the news report as they were starting to talk about the carved-in letters in each one of the exploded buildings. I see that you are trying to call him out. Are you still holding a grudge for what he did to you? Izuku was over in the corner, seeming to be mixing together some chemicals for a new batch of clay. I just wanted him to see what he turned me into. All For One smiled, still wanting to test the boy. Before you can go after All Might, I think you should start working your way up. Izuku was confused, wondering what he was working up from. What exactly do you want me to do? All For One snapped his fingers as a bunch of smaller TVs started to turn on behind him, showing profile images of all of the top 10 heroes. I want you to start taking down members of the top 10 along with their agencies, but I want you to try doing it in different ways. Maybe take down their agency, assassinate them, make them quit. There are so many different ways. I know that you love your explosion, but a little bit more color to your artistry never hurts anybody. Izuku thought about it for a minute. What about the League of Villains that you're trying to put together? Are you really going to be leaving it in the hands of Shigaraki? All For One saw this as an opportunity. Think of him as your competition. The both of you will be putting together your own groups under the same banner. Whoever's group has more success will succeed me when time comes. Izuku started to laugh as he started to put the finishing touches on the clay concoction that he was whipping up. So, in your opinion, do you truly believe that that gamer will be able to defeat my art? All For One leaned back in his chair as he rested his head on his palm. Well, you definitely do have an advantage, and people already fear the Mad Bomber. The moment that you reveal yourself to be that person, people might just start flocking to you sooner. But Shigaraki has assistance of my own trusted ally. I'm not going to be giving you any assistance because I believe you would like to do things completely of your own whim, just like a true artist, right? Izuku chuckled as he started to stuff his pouches with clay. That's fine. I don't need to use the League of Villains. In a way, I've already started to gather my own allies. Like you said, my nickname, the Mad Bomber, will already bring followers to me. So whatever that man-child might have planned, he can go ahead and do them while I start painting the town my own way. A man with light blue hair walks in as he was scratching his neck a little bit while his face was covered with a hand, along with having an annoyed expression as he just heard everything. Don't get so full of yourself, punk. It's only because of Master that you're able to do the things that you want the way that you do. So you should be grateful and just work under me because I'm meant to be Master's successor. Izuku looked towards the man-child that he was speaking about, annoyed as he wished he could just blow him up. To be honest, you should be lucky to work under me, Shigaraki, because you're not worthy of being successor to anybody. You're too rash, you act childish, and you seem to fail at leading a group. Shigaraki glared at Izuku. Then I guess our competition is on, and trust me, I look forward to curb stomping you and putting you in your place. All For One snapped his fingers, getting both of the boys' attention. Izuku, I've already given you your task, and now it's time for me to tell Shigaraki what his is. Shigaraki stood proud, ready to get his orders. Don't worry, Master. No matter what assignment you give me, I will make sure that it gets done. All For One smirked, enjoying the enthusiasm. Your assignment is to use your resources to take down UA. The worse you can make their reputation and weaken their defenses, the better. Shigaraki was annoyed, knowing that Izuku's assignment was a lot higher in rank. Why are you sending out that lunatic bomber to take on the top 10 while you're having me just destroy a school? Izuku just rolled his eyes hearing Shigaraki talk. Maybe it's because I actually have most of the heroes running in fear, along with the public fearing my existence. And what was the last thing that I need to tell you? Oh, that's right, I actually have results. Shigaraki had his fist clenched as he was getting ready to attack Izuku. Are you trying to pick a fight with me? Izuku chuckled as he started to place one of his hands into his clay pouch. Oh, trust me, DK boy, you do not want to pick a fight with me. All For One snapped his fingers as flames went across the room and then quickly went out. Enough, both of you. I've given you your assignments. Now build around your own work and challenge yourself by making a team. You can try doing this solo, but it'd be better off if you start networking, so quit bickering with each other and start getting results. Zuko chuckled a little bit as he took his hand out of his pouch and just laid it beside himself. How long do we have to get these assignments done? All for One put his hand to his chin as he was thinking about it. I would say there's no time limit. You can take as much time as you want, but I would not be dragging your feet. At least make the free time that I give you worth something. Shigaraki was still annoyed, but thought that there might be a loophole in this whole situation. Are we allowed to interfere with each other's assignment, or maybe even sabotage each other? All for One was entertained by the idea. Yes, you're allowed to do whatever you feel like. If you feel like taking out each other's groups, that's completely fine. Just remember, at the end of the day, all you're trying to do is prove to me that you're worthy of being my successor. But the only rule is you can't kill each other, nor can you have one of your allies kill off the other leader. You must both stay alive. Zuko opened his palm as a small clay bird started to come out of it. I'm looking forward to seeing you try to get in my way, Shigaraki, only for you to screw that up. Shigaraki got into a defensive stance as he started to hold out his arm like he was going to grab onto Izuku. I'm looking forward to watching the top 10 kick your teeth in and you rot in Tartarus. For One clapped his hands in enjoyment as he got both of the boys' attention again. Well, with all that said, let the games begin between the both of you. But that's where I'm going to leave this trailer off this time, guys. You know the drill. If you get enough likes and comments, it gets onto a poll, and if it wins, it will be turned into a full series. With that said, I'm out this time. Bye.